There are less than 2 days left until the end of the Origin Alpha season, and I am currently sitting just below the top 20 on the season leaderboards. My plan is to grind as hard as possible over the next 2 days, but at this point, attaining first place is next to impossible. But that does not mean I still can't kick his butt in the arena when I find him, so I have one hell of a replay for you to watch today. But before we get into that, this is my custom Lunacian code. If you like my work and want to support me, then using my code is a great way to do that. It's super easy to set up and it doesn't cost you anything. In fact, I'll even repay the favor. From here until the foreseeable future, whenever I release a new video, I'll be choosing one commenter from that video to use their Lunacian code for the week. So do not forget to tag along your Lunacian code with your comment. And if you want to learn more about Lunacian codes and how you can get your own custom Lunacian code, make sure to stay tuned till the end of the video. Until then, let's get back to the battle. So this is the team that I've been working with to climb up the leaderboards. This is the optimized version of the AoE team that I showcased last week. And if you've been watching my content, you may recognize the beast in the middle. This is one of my favorite beasts. I've showcased him in many videos in the past. Now, the reason why we're playing this wonky looking Dusk in the front is because we got lucky enough to roll the Malediction rune. When used correctly, Malediction can be even more powerful than a pangolin scale, and I'm setting myself up correctly indeed with Grandma's Fan. Grandma's Fan has innate, so it allows me to immediately place those debuffs on all of my enemies so I can start getting value from Malediction as soon as possible. I've also got 2 heal cards on this Axie in Watermelon and Hungry Bird, allowing me to heal up for a total of 40 health, which is actually very valuable on an Axie with 15% damage reduction. And finally, Scarab is what allows us to beat those pesky sustain builds, and it is actually very helpful against Puffy as well. Using Scarab to target Puffy allows you to whittle down that health, getting rid of the damage buff they get from Baby. It also prevents them from healing up because you're placing doubt on them as well. It is very good against Puffy. And as for the charms, we went with Vitality everywhere we could, except for Grandma's Fan. I want a little bit more damage on my AoE, so I went with the Bird Charm of Power. All right, now on to the Beast. We are using Tough Strike on the Beast. I would probably use Pangolin Scale on the Beast if I had it, but alas, this is what we have to work with, and it's been working out pretty well. Now, let's look at the charms. I have Hidden Razor on Chubby, allowing me to place bleed on their entire team, so even if I go first and my vulnerable runs out on their team and I still have my frontliner Dusk alive somehow, I can play Chubby to place another debuff on their entire team, placing bleed everywhere, and then again I'm getting that 15% damage reduction and 15% damage buff on my Dusk. And if you see, Tri-Feather applies doubt as well, so every single one of my AoE cards is applying a debuff. Perfect synergies all around. Tiny Fan is great, especially if I get it early game. Giving me 4 extra damage on every single one of my AoE hits is very OP. Now finally, let's talk about the backliner. This is my game finisher, a plant. Again, I'm running with Tough Strike. There's really nothing better to use, especially on a plant if you're going with damage. I have Sirius, high damage, Cactus, high damage, Tri-Feather for some good AoE as well, Carrot for my energy, and Rosa. Of course, Rosa is going to help me finish off the game, especially with Ancient Root that allows me to retain Rosa and keep it for that one clutch moment to win me the game. Other than Ancient Root, we are going with Vitality Charms pretty much everywhere we can because I want my backlaner to survive as long as possible. All right, now that you understand my comp, let's talk about my opponent. I apologize if I'm pronouncing this wrong, but Akaringo is currently the highest ranking player in Axie Infinity Origin right now, and by looking at his team, it's not difficult to see why. He is rocking Bloodlust on his front and midline Axies. Bloodlust is the most powerful rune in the game, both dealing an additional 15 damage per hit and healing 15 health per hit as well for a total of 30 extra stats per hit. It's crazy, but it's about to get even crazier tier when we look at this card set. So on his frontliner, he has 3 AoE cards in Tri-Feather, Earwing, and Chubby. Now, there is currently a broken mechanic between Bloodlust and AoE. When you play an AoE card, it counts it as a single strike card. So every single hit for each of these Axies will be dealing an additional 15 damage from Bloodlust, and he will be healing 45 health from each of these AoE cards. On top of that, he has Square Teeth, a 0-cost attack card, which also triggers his Bloodlust, and Nemo for energy gain and even more healing. This is the most aggressive, most tanky Axie in the game right now. It is so daunting to just see it in the arena. And his midliner is extremely similar. It has Garrow instead of Chubby, but other than that, the card set is almost exactly the same. Very difficult to kill this thing in an actual battle. Now, his backliner actually reminds me a lot of my own, but a little bit more aggressive and all-out damage since he has so much AoE on his front 2 Axies. Little P's on the eyes, Sirius, Cactus, Carrot, and Rosa. Big damage, the ability to stun one of my Axies in the late game, along with a little bit of shield from Pumpkin, with a Leafy Pot on there for extra healing. Just all around such a very aggressive, very high octane, fast-paced, aggressive, and sustainable comp from my opponent Akaringo here. So now that you have a full grasp of the situation at hand, let's hop into the battle. All right, here we go. Akaringo is going first, and he gets a good hand, too. He starts off with Carrot to get some damage and plays Pumpkin. Gets Shield to protect his frontliner, as well as getting Leaves on his entire team for some long-term sustainability. I play both of my Grandma's Fan, get the Vulnerable on the entire team, and stack it so it lasts 8 turns. This is the only way I'm going to beat him. I need every bit of damage I can get, because I know he's going to heal up. He goes ahead and starts dealing damage. My Malediction does its best, but the Bloodlust is cutting right through me, especially those AoE cards dealing more than 50 damage per Axie on a single energy. And he has a Nemo, so he's able to play Garrow. And finally, Square Teeth, the 0-cost card for more big damage. It's so disheartening when you see all these damage cards come out. Look, he's almost healed up back to full health after taking both those Grandma's Fans. But I go in with a Chubby, applying bleed to the entire team, Scarab the front to prevent him from healing up any further with any other AoE cards he draws into here. And here, again, he draws into those AoE cards. Earwing first off because he gets more damage for more cards in his hand. Then he goes ahead and plays the Chubby, destroying my frontliner and bringing my back 2 Axies to below half health. Finishing it off with Pliers, my midliner. He's below 100 health, and it's back to my turn. Look at this! I'm down to 2 Axies, both of which are about to die. How can I possibly come back from this? I need a godsend. I need a way to pick the pace back up quickly. I play both my Tri-Feathers and my Carrot, and I throw out a Hail Mary, a Rosa to the back lane plant. If I can prevent him from playing a couple cards this round, I might be able to turn the tables. And here we go. I disable 3 cards. All he can play is Tri-Feather and Square Teeth. He does heal up considerably, deals a little bit of damage, but I am still alive by just 11 health, and it's back to my turn. We may have done it here, folks. Let's see what I draw into. Now my deck just cycled, so I managed to draw back into the double Tri-Feather combo, which allows me to kill off the front, deal a great amount of damage to the mid and back. I took out the mid, leaving the back at just 7 HP for the next turn. Now let's see what he draws into. He returned the Rosa for the following turn, takes out my beast with a Carrot, throws out a Cactus, hits me with a Rosa, puts me to sleep. I am at just 27 health, and he puts up a Pumpkin for 70 shield and gets a second Leaf on there, healing for 10 health at the end of his turn, but he still has the Doubt, so that goes back down to 5. He is at just 8 HP. I draw into 2 Revenge Swords and take the game. That is a W for Ryan. That replay blows my mind every time I watch it. I love how in this game anything is possible, and no matter how dire the circumstances seem, there's always a way to come back from it. Sometimes it's through strategic outplays, other times it's through sheer luck, but I think that it all speaks a lot to how competitive this game can be. But I also promised to teach you guys about the custom Lunacian code, so without further ado, let's get into that. Anytime a transaction is processed on the marketplace, a 4.25% tax is taken on that transaction, and that is brought to the community treasury. But when you use somebody's Lunacian code, 1% out of that 4.25 actually gets redirected to the owner of that code. Okay, imagine 100 people are all using your code and they all go out and buy an Axie. Well, 1% times 100 is 100%, so you should be able to go out and buy your own Axie as well. It's a great way for community members to support each other, and again, it doesn't cost you a penny. Just make sure that you have somebody's code typed into that box. Now, in order to get a custom Lunacian code, it is currently reserved for creators. That is anybody who is currently contributing to the community in one way or another. You can apply through the Lunacian Substack, which is also where you will find the creator application form as well. But I want you to know that creator doesn't just refer to a content creator on YouTube. It encompasses all facets of creators. So if you are a community member who is contributing to the ecosystem, or somebody who just wants to be doing more, then I implore you to fill out that creator application form, because a custom Lunacian code is just one of the benefits you get for helping us build. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you appreciate my content, make sure to hit like and subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you in the arena.